What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my Madolche deck profile for the month of February. So, funny enough and ironically enough, we're literally near Valentine's Day, and because of what this deck's theme is, kinda just fits the bill. But no, I do enjoy Madolches, and I wanted just to keep a very basic and simple setup here. But I did include some of the new support that has came out from Madolches, and I'm really feeling it with the newer support cards. It's very interesting how these cards work. But I will be taking, of course, the time to look at them, and without further ado, let's actually get started. So, from a monster lineup, I'm running 3 copies of Madolche Pudding Sensor and 3 copies of Madolche Angeli. Then I am running 2 copies of Madolche Food Cake, Madolche Mifilo, Madolche Magellan, and Madolche Messangelato. Then I'm running 1 copy of Madolche Pudding Cess, and for the last monster in my main deck, I'm running 3 copies of Ash Blossom Enjoy Spring. Then for the spell cards, of course, I'm running 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance, 2 copies of Madolche Ticket, Madolche Chateau, Madolche Salon, Mind Control, and 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Omni. Then for the trap cards, I'm running 3 copies of Madolche Parma 1 copy of Madolche Palooza, 3 copies of Madolche Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning. I don't know why I called them Madolche, but yeah, that is it for the main deck. Then for the extra, I got 3 copies of Madolche Pudding Cess Chocolate a la Mode, 3 copies of um, Madolche Queen Tiramisu, 3 copies of Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle, 3 copies of Madolche Sis Tart, 1 copy each of Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, and Barrel Sword Dragon. So that's pretty much the lineup of the cards themselves. So let's talk about Madolche Salon. This card has the ability to give you an additional normal summon from a Madolche monster in addition to your normal summon art set. In combination with 2 of this card's supposed hard once per turns, you actually get a lot more out of them. I'm talking about Mufilo and Magellan. Magellan being the searcher of the deck, and Mufilo being the special summoner of the deck from with monster cards in the hand. The crazy thing about Mifilo and Magellan is that they were the ones that you needed that additional normal summon for. And you're finally getting some additional support of that. You can also run double summon if you don't draw into this. But because of how a lot of the cards themselves are working nowadays, you shouldn't have that much of a problem. Now, let's actually talk about a monster that can help you get into some other monsters. Madolche Pudding Sessa. She has the ability, of course, that if you control no monsters in your grave, you got no monster in your grave, you can summon her from your hand. Then when she summon, you can summon a Madolche monster from your deck in to the field, but reduces level by 1. And that is where Pudding Sets comes in. So the big sister can be easily summoned to the field by the little sister. Also to note, she'll be a level 4, so you can have access into your rank 4 monsters without having any trouble. This is something that a lot of players who played Madolches early on when they first came out had a lot of issues with because, well, Madolche Princess is a tribute monster, so it kind of it was kind of much of an issue there when it came to just trying to get a lot of them together. But I do enjoy the fact that we have access to summoning such a high level monster without such a hassle. Not just through Madolche Pudding says sir, but we also have Angeli and Hoot Cake in Messenger. Well, Angeli and Hoot Cake, because initially we only had Mufilo. The other effect of Madolche Pudding says is no matter if she wins or loses a battle, she can target a card your opponent controls and destroys it. Because of her effect, she can easily get over a lot of cards. One of her biggest threats was Stardust, because Stardust had the ability to negate stuff, and she was able to get over Stardust's little effect. Then we go on to Angeli. She's pretty much the lone fire blossom of the archetype, um, and allows you to get a ton of monsters to the field. The crazy thing about Angeli is that I wanted to figure out exactly if I wanted to keep her at 2 or go to 3. And I think 3 is just the better option because if you can see her as soon as possible, you can get a lot of your other cards going as well. Then we move on, of course, to Hoot Cake. Banish a monster in your graveyard, so summon a Madolche monster to the field. Great way to clear out your graveyard of non-Madolche monsters. Great to put a lot of presence onto the board, and you really don't have much to worry about um, when it comes to Hoot Cake. I mean, yeah, when it comes to Hoot Cake, because you can easily go get Message Gelato, and Gelato can use his effect, and we're pretty much set there. You can go get Princess. You can go get a lot of easier targets that you can get out of the deck to get into a lot of other cards. Then we move on to the hand trap of the deck, and that is Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. Pretty much how I feel about Ash Blossom is that with a lot of the cards themselves in the game right now, having the ability to do so much, Ash Blossom just takes care of all of those threats and all of those problems um, as easy as she can. So it was someone that I honestly just want to get in. You can easily splash in a lot of other hand traps, and they don't become an issue once after use because you have tuners within them, so you can put some synchros in there if you're feeling lucky, if you're feeling the role. You also have access to Hoot Cake, who can banish them from the graveyard, and you don't have to worry about them being a problem there. So you do have that range. You have a lot of just notoriety within the deck itself. Then we move on to the spell cards. So the Pot of Extravagance is here for that additional draw power. As we all know, draw power in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be very scarce. Either your archetype has it through its own exclusive spell or trap, or you take advantage of some of the generic spells and trap cards and their ability to draw. The thing about Madolche's is that Pot of Extravagance is one of those cards that works really well with them because of the fact that you can fit anything in the extra deck and then still have ways to play around with your extra deck without having to worry about what's there and what's not there. And this is honestly just one of the cards that I really wanted to pull from because of how easy it was to legitimately pull a lot of resources for it out of it. Then we have Madolche Ticket. When you control a Madolche Fairy type monster, well, pretty much his main effects is this: you can whenever a Madolche monster on your field or graveyard is added back to your hand or main deck, you're able to special summon a Madolche monster. You add a Madolche monster to your hand. But while you control a Fairy type Madolche monster, you're able to special summon the target that you searched for. The crazy thing about Madolche Ticket is its range now, as opposed to what it was before. Because before you only had access to Tiara Misu, who's on the board, and Pudding Seth, who you had to struggle to get to the board. The crazy thing is, looking at it now, we have Angeli, we have Pudding Seth, Sir, we have that range to get a lot of these monsters onto the board, and having the fairy support within the Madolche archetype to really take advantage of those cards. Sorry about that. But it is a really great spell, and it has a lot of its pros and cons to it. Like a lot of its effects are once per turn, sadly. But with the benefit that it gives, you can take advantage of it, and especially when you want to swarm the board. We've already talked about Salon, but let's also talk about some of its other unique effects. When activated, you can add a smaller trap card with Madolche in its name and set it onto the field. This way, you can get a lot of your additional cards. To trigger this effect, you do have to have another Madolche card on your field or graveyard return to the hand or main or hand or deck. So you can't main deck. So you do have easy ways to take advantage of it. I honestly think this is a great step up for the Madolche monsters because it's a double summon that falls under their name, and you can easily search for it with Messenger Lotto. Then we have Madolche Chateau, one of the many skill spells in the Yu-Gi-Oh series that gives not only its archetype a big buff, but has great unique effects behind it. A lot of those cards on the field, your Madolche monsters that will return from the field or graveyard back to the deck, have the option to go to the hand. Then, no, from the deck graveyard, that will be sent to the graveyard, but going back to the deck are going to go to the hand instead. If you choose. The crazy thing about that is that replenishes your hand with your Madolche cards, and you can easily take advantage of a lot of the combo games you can get with them, especially with Mufilo Mufilo, Angeli, Magellan, and Hoot Cake. So those are your big ones right there. Then on top of that, the adding Madolche monsters back to the deck is a great way of averaging a lot of things. And if you have Ticket already in the field, you can take advantage of that too. Then we have mind control, just in case you want to snatch your opponent's monsters. Primarily, you're snatching them to either link summon with, or you're just getting enough material to link into someone big like Barrel Sword. Then reinforcement of the army just helps you search for missing gelato if you need to search out. Then for the trap cards, we have Madolche Parmamade, which is a great negation card. See, that's not a counter trap, because if it was a counter trap, that'd be great advantages for it. But you select the monster your opponent controls, one card you control, negate the card they control, and then return your Madolche card back to your hand. Then, if this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, target a Madolche monster in your graveyard, deck, or hand, and attach that to a Madolche monster as Exceed material. So, you get another way to support your Exceed monsters, and a great way to spam into Madolche putting Seth's Chocolala mode, who needs Madolche Pudding Cess to do her additional effects. It's not a great additional effect, but it is something to take advantage of. Madolche Palooza, pretty much the hysteric party for the Madolche archetype. So summon as many Madolche monsters from your hand to the field as possible, and then return those monsters to the deck during the end phase of the turn. So you get a good offensive and defensive card in one. I wanted to add some defenses even more with the effects of Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning, just because I felt those would be some additional cards to take advantage of without having to worry so much about a lot of life point lossage. Then we go into the extra deck. So Madolche Pudding Cess Chocolate a la mode. While she has Madolche Pudding Cess attached to her, you can target a Madolche card in your graveyard and shuffle it back into the deck. And then you can special summon a Madolche monster to your side of the field. When Madolche cards are shuffled back into the deck or hand, you can summon a Madolche monster to the field. That way you can easily span the board with a lot of stuff. She has some pretty decent attack and defense on her as well. This room is just a big beat stick monster to go into. You put her on top of Glass Souffle, or you can put her on top of Queen, and then take advantage of that there. Then let's talk about the Queen. Her ability to return cards on the field back to the deck by returning Madolche monsters in your graveyard back into your deck. So that way you can get rid of a lot of things your opponent has while also replenishing your main deck with Madolche monsters. The bright side to this card as well is that it doesn't target, so you do have that advantage. And you pretty much just set up a lot of things with her health. Then we have Glass Souffle if you want a very defensive game. This is actually a good monster on the first turn with her ability to make sure that the Madolche card that she's going to use the effect on, that she'll target with her effect, pretty much does not get affected by other card effects except for its own. So you can take advantage of a good defensive game on turn one. Then we have Madolche Sistart. So this was a monster that a lot of people didn't like at first because she focused on protecting spells and traps. Here's the thing. Your spells and traps are going to need a lot of protection when it comes to a lot of cards nowadays. Twin Twisters, Heavy Storm Duster, a lot of cards that get rid of back row when they use their own abilities or when they attack, and then their attacks can be affected by the card effect. So, take advantage of the defense as you can, and if she can protect herself by sending Madolche monsters in the graveyard back into the deck. So you have even more range with that return effect due to cards like Madolche Ticket and Madolche the Salon. So then, just some offense cards I did have Cerberus and Phoenix in here, a Nightmare Engine that I pretty much just had accustomed to. You can also put in Unicorn if you want to as well. And then, of course, we got the big guy, Barrel Sword Dragon. I honestly enjoy Barrel Sword and a lot of things Barrel Sword can do, especially when you just want to wreck stuff. And boy, can he wreck stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck itself. And pretty much the end of this video. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my Madolche deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will catch all of you guys next time. HPJ signing out. Take care.